All right, good afternoon. Welcome to Cards and Channeling with Josh or Mr. Floyd or me and you. And Helene, welcome. Tina, welcome. Lati B, welcome, guys. All right, so if you were here last week, this is something new that we're doing here, and me branching off into a new energy, right? Grateful. So what we're going to do is tarot and oracle and channeling, right? So instead, but you can't just kind of go like a couple of things. Here's the parameters, right? So you have to ask a specific question because Saint Germain, as he will do a little pre-channeling here. He'll lay down the rules, but yeah, you cannot. He's not seeing your future for you, right? You have to see your own future. Hi, Karma. Welcome. Grateful. So here, basically, let's do this. Welcome, guys. Two things. Let me put on Do Not Disturb. Horses Trigger Hope, welcome. Kino, welcome. All right, there we go. All right, so basically, let me bring in Saint Germain here. All right, welcome for all of you who are here. I know this is kind of a new thing, right? So what we are going to do is channel, right? So Josh is going to channel myself and everyone else that he channels through him to you, right? But last time we had a lot of general reading, but we're not doing a reading. We're not trying to see a future, right? This is like a one-on-one session, right? Like a therapy or a discussion you can have with myself, Saint Germain or Archangel Raphael or the rest of them, right? So from your end, it is real simple. What are you thinking? What is going on in your universe? Where maybe you're stuck, what have you? It's like a free session with a therapist, right? But you are talking to a energy way beyond you, right? But you are beyond you, but you don't know it, right? But nonetheless, we are grateful. So from your end, think of a question, whatever it might be, right, that you are wanting to ask, and you can ask the Saint Germain, right? Not the question about my universe or anything else, but yours, right? And I'm having trouble with, or I'm looking to, or whatever it might be, and we can help you, right? That's what we are here for, right? So we are going to release back to Josh, but there we go. All right, so grateful, guys. So if you have a question you want to ask Saint Germain, Archangel Raphael, Goddess Isis, Kuan Yin, Sekhmet, or White Buffalo Calf Woman, you can do so. Just let's see here. Hang on one moment. There we go. All right, all you gotta do is just ask the question itself. If you want a reading, then, or if you want to ask a question, all you have to do is put. And I'm gonna get pen and piece of paper here. Yes, I love rules. There we go. Where is my spirit guide trying to tell me how to open my ears to hear what is being said? That's a good question. What are they trying to tell you? I don't always even hear my guides, I'll be honest. Hang on one sec, guys. Yeah, I need something to write down. All right, good. I need to find paper, but we shall do so here. Hershey, welcome. Mo, welcome as well. Need to find a piece of paper, so give me like 2 seconds, guys, to find something to write on so I can keep a list of who's going to be. All right, we found something we can write on here. Popping in to say hi and good afternoon. Hee hee hee. Anyone see the movie Spirited? Good afternoon. No, I don't think I've seen Spirited. Honestly, no. But I guess I should. All right, guys. So if you have a question for anybody that I channel here, and of course we can do cards too, just put me in the chat there, and one Mississippi too. I was looking for something to write on, to keep a list. So I found something. Hope it's something important. It's just a round piece of. I have no idea, but yeah. All right. So I see that, Mo. All right. So first thing I will do is open it up. So if you have if you would like a reading, please just put me. You can capital M-E or M-E in the chat there, and I will get you going here. Donations are accepted. I put the donation links in the chat. They're not in the chat, in the description, but they're not required at all. List. Tina, okay, so, oh, thank you. All right, so Karma's got the list, and so far we have Tina. Okay, great. Thank you, Tina. All right. I need some water. The thing about channeling is it gets you dehydrated. There we go. All right, Tina. So if you want to put your question into the chat, that would be helpful and grateful, and we can go from there. So Tina, I can't think of a good question. Is a general yes and no. I can do a general read off the tarot cards, but when it comes to channeling, then Saint Germain. Hang on. Latif, we are doing a channeling. We do not read into your universe, right? So you have to tell us, so to speak, what you are wanting to know, right? We are not going to soothsay into your universe. We are not going to read into. This is a little bit different because we are offering up our services. If you have something specific per se, we are not trying to say you are going to win the lottery or you are looking to become the president of the world or something, right? What we are doing is you are presenting and then we are seeing the energy and trying to help you from that aspect. So if you would like a reading in that aspect, we can help. If you just want a general, then we could throw cards out for you. That is not a problem. Okay, perfect. So we can throw cards. But Tina, so what, if Tina, you are up, how can I hear my spirit guide more easily? Okay, that's easy. Okay, that can help. Saint Germain, if you are looking, first off, we are grateful that you are here, Tina. And how are you doing today? Are you doing well? We are looking to hear your guides. Your guides can speak in many different ways. First off, the question you have to know, right, for yourself is how do you listen? It's not about your guides, right? For your channel, and we are using this as an example, right? He set up different ways he listens to his guides, right? So from your end, we're going to so from your end, how do you listen? Tina, the question is, and it's seriously, you can type it in the chat, right? So ask, say, Saint Germain is asking you, how are you as a listener? Right? Do you listen through quiet, right? Do you see it in the trees, in the birds? Do you listen by maybe hearing a lyric in a song? Do you listen by maybe the proper YouTube video says something and you're like, wait a minute? Do you listen by feeling in your heart? It's the question. So from yourself, Tina, the first question you have to ask yourself, in order to hear your guides, right? Your job then is to slow down and figure out first, how do I communicate, right? What is my way to communicate with the group? For your channeler, it's like music, and he's set up lots of different things. Just for example, right? He set up license plates, right? So if he wants to communicate with the guides, of course, he's saying hello to him in the dawning, right? But you are communicating by, in this case, he is saying, when I see, let's play the license plate game, right? So for your channeler here, he will say, let's play the license plate game, and you will see personalized license plates, right? Like yesterday, your channeler saw OHM, OM, right? So what does that mean? It means that he is told to breathe, right? There's all the license plates in all of the state of Colorado, and he saw the one plate that is allowed to have OHM, OM. What do you want? There's another license plate driving around. He has seen that God loves you, right? So when you are looking to communicate with your guides there, Tina, what is your preferred method, right? Do you have clairaudience, right? So are you sitting there listening to music, right? And so you are going, all right, universe, program my radio, right? If you have clairaudience, right? If you are clairvoyant, then you are seeing messages in pictures of things coming, right? If you have, maybe you are smelling, right? But that's the question. Do you feel it in the animals? It's not going to come to you like they're going to say, they might, but generally speaking, your guides are not going to come to you and say, hi, how are you? What is going on, Tina? What does your day look like for you, right? So from your end, that's the first question. Then the second thing is to slow down, right? And listen to your guides, right? So from your end, first establish, and you have to speak with them out loud, right? So speak with your guides out loud. Say, hello, how are you? What is going on? I would like to communicate with you better, right? They hear you, right? So as you are speaking to your guides, they are going to answer back, right? So what is your preferred method, right? That is the question you have to look into. For your channeler, it was music, it's the birds, it is license plates, three headlights, right? Headlight game, right? So if you see, we see three cars with one headlight, right? That's another game he plays. So pick a game to start. We are encouraging you to play a game with your guides, right? So Tina, play a game, pick a game, whatever it is. License plates, maybe it is birds, maybe it is, a feeling, maybe it is whatever for you, songs, music. But what you are doing is establishing a boundary, right? A space to ask them to come in and to give you something familiar from yourself that you would understand as theirs, right? So that they are giving to you. So start with that, and then you will grow from there. But the first thing to do is to speak to your guides and angels out loud, right? And to say, hello, how are you? What is going on? Good dawning, good afternoon. I'd like to communicate better. And to do so, will you do X, Y, and or Z, right? And they will listen. Say, look, I have clear audience, right? So program my radio station. Let me know that you are there, right? So you get in the car and the first thing you hear is, I love you from the radio, right? And then you go, whoa, wait a minute. Love something, right? And you understand what we are talking about, Tina, right? That makes so much sense. Slow down, right? You cannot go fast to hear your guides, right? You drive right past the radio, right? So pick a way for the first. When we come back next week, right? We will discuss again, or even before, right? Just reach out. But nonetheless, all you need to do is pick a method. Stick with that method for a week. Challenge your guides, right? To come through, right? I challenge you to show me three cars with one headlight on my way home, right? Easy, right? I challenge you to play some music. Let me know that you know what I like, right? Play my music, right? I challenge you to, when I play a YouTube video, find me, do whatever works for you, but you have to do. I challenge you. Let me see a hawk, right? And then you see a hawk, and you're like, oh, there you are, right? So whatever works for you at the moment. Not smoking cigarettes anymore, realizing how much they curved my eating. Yes, when you are smoking, it's the nicotine is an appetite suppressant, right? So it's technically a form of a speed, right? So to speak, but not really. But just enough to suppress the appetite. But so Tina, if that helps, hopefully that helps. So take it one step at a time. Did you have any other questions? But if so, when you are going out today, and when we are done here, right? Just talk to your guides and say, show me, right? You come downstairs, you see the clock flashing 12, right? You know. Yeah. All right. So hopefully that helped, Tina. But yeah, that's what I started doing, and it made all the difference, is to challenge them in some fashion, right? So however you want to do so, but you can challenge your guides there to show up in a fashion that will work for you. And for me, it's definitely the music, number one. I think, Jess, I heard one say a name with a hard K sound. There you go. I mean, you may physically hear them. There are some people who do physically hear their guides. I do occasionally, but generally it's going to be more through music. Lots of quick coincidences, lots of things to go, hey, we're here. Are you listening? Are you paying attention? And then seeing what's going on around my surroundings at that point in my universe. But favorite, Tina. Hopefully that helps. All right, so Henny, you are up next. We only pull cards if we need to, right? The cards are here, but they're not. I mean, we can channel the answer. That's the idea. Question: after more than a year of moving situation is still up in the air over here. Any expected vision on that? Saint Germain here. Henny, we are grateful for who you are and what you do. As far as moving goes, that's the question you have to ask yourself, first off. Are you wanting to move or not? Because the energies, you are in control. This is going to sound weird, but when you are not, but you are not, right? So the question is, do you want to stay or do you want to go? And if you want to stay, put that energy out there. Do not think about moving. Do not look at moving. Do not move, so to speak, right? Move yourself, right? But do not move out of the house, right? So what we are getting at is if you are feeling that you might have to move, right? Then right now, if you want to stay, and that's the last time when you had discussed with the channel here, we were going to stay, right? So from your end, if you are wanting to stay, then you stay in that energy. You picture nothing else, right? Obviously, you have money in case something happens. We are not going to be crazy or anything, right? We are not saying to make yourself into a hole, right? But nonetheless, if you are going to move, right, or not going to want to move, then if you want to move, then you see yourself moving. You just move, right? But that's your choice. But it sounds like you want to stay. And if that's the case, then from your end, we cannot say if you are going to stay. That is, the universe does what it does. But what we are going to do is help you to align the energies if you want to stay so that you can, right? Hopefully, right? We are not in control of what other people choose to do. If they are choosing to sell the property, then maybe the new owners will let you stay or you will have to find another place. But if you are wanting to stay, then we are going to visualize that. We are going to ground into that, and we're going to make that our centered energy, right? So from your end, close your eyes for a moment, if you would, Helene, and see yourself. If you are not wanting to move, then see yourself staying. Close your eyes and don't envision a situation where you have to, right? We're not going to gin up those energies, so to speak, right? We're not going to bring them into our field. We understand that those energies can exist, right? It is possible, right? But if that is not the desired outcome, then we are going to see the desired outcome as us staying, and we are going to not even bring it into frame, right? That's the only thing that we can really do, right? Is to truck forward. I mean, obviously you can discuss with the new owners if you are going to move or not, but if otherwise, right? If you want to be staying where you are at, then it is your job to envision that, to see that, and to create a universe that shows that you are staying and to release the fear, right? If you are standing in the fear of having to move, the fear will attract having to move, right? If you are standing in the fear of all of that, then that fear will bring in what you are looking, not wanting, but what you are fearing, right? What you fear and hold in energy you bring into frame. So we are going to see ourselves staying. We are going to create that energy and we are going to mantra that, right? We are staying. This is my home and I am grateful. So you are going to repeat that daily when you wake up. I am staying. This is my home. I am grateful. And you are putting your feet on the ground and you are giving gratitude. Gratitude, you are going to center, right? So this is your prescription to center in gratitude, Helene, right? If you are staying in gratitude and you are holding center to what you want and you are grateful that you have, right? Gratitude brings more of what you want, right? So if you are staying in gratitude, you are bringing more of the gratefulness you want into your universe. If you are in understanding of what we are talking about here today, right? Exactly. So from your end, can you see? Are you able to understand and work with that, right? So hopefully that helps, Helene. When you are waking up tomorrow in the dawning and you are going to put your feet on the ground, right? And you are staying, you are seeing that, and you are grateful. The more gratitude you have, the more your universe aligns with what you want, right? So hold the gratitude when you go into the shower and you're like, I'm not taking a shower anywhere else. Well, maybe, but nonetheless, I'm going on vacation, right? But nonetheless, I'm not taking, this is my shower. I'm grateful, right? Well, you may not own it, you are renting it. But nonetheless, you are grateful to have the use of it, right? And you are in the kitchen Whether it's the greatest or the worst kitchen in the world, does not matter. You are grateful for using that oven, right? You are grateful for your feet being planted on the kitchen floor, and you are grateful to be in those four walls, right? Down the street from the beach, no less, right? So you are stand in that gratitude, hold that attitude, and don't even think for a moment that you're obviously you have to prepare, have the money in the bank and an idea of, but nonetheless, generally speaking, have the attitude that you are not going anywhere, right? This is I'm okay. And trust. You have to trust. You are in no control, right? Sometimes we have no control over our situations, right? So in this case, you have to trust in the universe is going to bring that for you. And it's going to, that's where you ground into the gratitude. You are showing the universe. Gratitude is the attitude that will keep you in that house. Hopefully that, hopefully that helps, Helene. We are grateful. Remember one other thing. Close your eyes for a moment, Helene. See yourself in a year from now in the house, just as happy as you are now, free as a lark, right? So keep visualizing that as well. When we are in a powerless, so to speak, situation where our energies are not, we are not in control of the whole situation, all we can do is ground into the best energies we can. And if you are thinking that the situation could, not saying it will or won't, right, evaporate, right, you will change, right, you have to move, then we are going to ground into more gratitude because that's what align your vibration to stay, right, to in the house. Gratitude for the four walls, right? We love you. Releasing transmission. Hopefully that helped. Energy. Jeez Louise. Hopefully that helped, Helene. But yeah, with Saint Germain's really like literally every inch of that house, as grateful as you can humanly get, and it's going to put out into the field, right? That gratitude energy, and it's going to be harder in some aspect for the because you're generating all this gratitude in this field for being in this house. Woo, it's going to be an interesting. It would be interesting to see him flip you out, right? In that aspect, from that point. But the house wants you to stay too. That's another. That's a whole. That's a really good thought there. I didn't. It didn't even come across me, or I guess Saint Germain. But yeah, the house. That's the other thing. Does the house? If that energy wants you there, it's going to keep you there anyways, right? Absolutely. So yeah, keep that going there. And you definitely have this. You definitely have this, Henny. Will you get this? Most likely. Honestly, if you're grounded in gratitude in that house, and you are just like beaming, and of course, if when you talk to the owner, I am just so grateful to be here. I love this place, and really, you're lit. Yeah, you're fine. I think you'll be okay. I feel you'll be okay. Um, Millie, welcome. Grateful. All right. So cool. Did you anything else there? Helene, Josh, did you read my responses above? Let me slide up. Yeah, when I'm channeling like that, you just blew my mind, Saint Germain. Oh, yes, an attitude of gratitude. Awesome. I've been wanting to work with the mind, the mints. However, they're not the safest for dogs, cats. So I'm doing my homework for alternative. Awesome. Question. Oh, there we go. Guess I have to make. No, you don't. Yeah, your decision is to stay and be grateful, and but be prepared. I mean, you have to be prepared in case they come back and like, nope, you got to go. But you still have gratitude that you were there, and then you start the attitude of, well, I guess my next place will be even better, right? That's where I'm at. My next place is going to be way better than where I was before, right? My next job, and I actually got a call today about a possible job, but it's night shift, so I gotta think on that for a minute, but I'm probably going to call back and take it at least for the moment because it's money, right? But it's night shift, and yeah, it would shift good donning a few days a week, but that's all right. We can handle it. But it will bring in some money, and that's what we're concerned about, right? That's moving things forward. So probably after this show here, I'll give her a quick call and tell her I'll take the position after all. Um, it's 12 hours, 3 days a week, so I mean, it won't kill me. But it will put money in my pocket, right? And still give me an opportunity to look for a better job. But at least it's something. So yeah, so Helene, be grateful and hold that gratitude. Hold the four walls together there, and your heart, and bond with it, and put your heart and soul, so to speak, in the house. And yeah, the vibration alone. The universe knows you want to stay, so I think you'll be fine. All right, so we have Lottie up next. So Lottie, if you have a question, just whatever it might be, just throw it in there. If you want something general, we can do so. I can go to the cards um, just as well. So Lottie B, my question, who or what am I channeling when I play piano, because I do feel like I'm tapping into something? Okay, I may not know exactly who you're channeling, then we might. Let's see what we've got here. All right. Saint Germain, you are wanting to know who you are channeling when you are playing the piano. It's going to be some version of your higher self, of course, right? You are, unless you are channeling like Beethoven, Bach, or somebody, right? But no, generally speaking, when we are in tune like that, we are in tune to a higher version of ourself, right? There is a timeline, and you are on that timeline. Well, you are a famous good piano player, right? And you are standing here now as a piano player, so you are tapping in to that energy in the ether of you playing the piano as much as you are tapping into yourself in the now playing the piano as well, right? So when you are doing an instrument of some sort, right, you are channeling through your highest self, right? So when you are playing the piano, you are reaching in to the version of you, right, that is in the ether, that is musically inclined, right, that can play the piano, that can, if you read music or read sight read, whatever works for you, and what have you, you are playing that piano. It's like kind of like the, there's a lots of things you could be channeling too, right? We have the thousand monkey, right? So like the monkeys over on one side of the universe, they learn to get the bugs with the stick, right? And then on the whole other side of the planet, they all of a sudden a monkey takes a stick and sticks it into the, and the bugs come out, right? So from your end, you could be channeling everybody who's ever played the piano just as well, right? You are, if you are an understanding that you are everybody in the first place, right? That your energy is no different than the energy of this channeler or anybody else you speak to, right? It is just the unique version of you being you, right? So that there can be a separation, so Source understands, because you are just Source walking around as a separate being, right? And so maybe you are just channeling everybody who has played the piano. That is something to think about. To really understand it, like, you could theoretically get regressed, right? And see maybe who you are channeling, if there's a specific, but generally speaking, it is most likely, and we do not have the exact answer, right? You would have to slow down when you are playing the piano and get inside yourself. And but even then, right? Most likely, and we again say most likely, unless you are like a prodigy, right? If you are like the world's greatest piano player, maybe you are Bach or Beethoven or somebody like, right? And you are learning, right? And whatever. But nonetheless, generally speaking, right? Generally speaking, it's your higher self. And the combination of everybody who has played the piano in the first place on the entire planet, right? You are in that frequency, and they all are. There's a vibration of everybody who is playing the piano. There's a vibration of everybody who plays the guitar, right? They are in their own energy, their own field that exists of all the guitar players and all that guitar music. And when you tap into the guitar, right, and you are the piano for your case, and you are playing the piano, you are reaching into the energy of everybody in this planet who is playing the piano, because it is all tied into Source. And who are you? Source. And so everybody is Source, right? And so you have the access, so to speak, of the grand piano in the universe, right? The larger, you can even tap into Elton John, right? And or Billy Joel, so to speak, and their energetics, which is pushing the piano field, right? So you are playing the piano, maybe you get the energy, you are young, right? Back, and you are hearing Billy Joel, and you're like, wow, I want to be, that's energy pushing you to play the piano, right? Because you are feeling the Billy Joel, and you are like, wow, that is uplifting me, and so I want to create music like that. I want to be a crooner on the piano and sing and such, right? And so maybe you start doing so, but you are picking up, you are feeding off of that energy. Are you an understanding? So I can't specifically state, did you have anybody that you might have had as a in your universe, somebody that you might have followed, like a Billy Joel or somebody, right? Or whomever it might be, Mantovani on the piano. It doesn't matter who it is. What we are stating is if the energy moves you, that is part of what you are channeling at that point, right? But we may not specifically know. If you are big in guitar, right, and you like to listen to Guns N' Roses, Slash, right? So maybe when you are playing the guitar, you are thinking you are playing like Slash, right? So what energy are you playing? You are playing your energy, but you are channeling in Slash energy as well, right? If you are an understanding. So maybe you are doing the same when you are playing the piano. We cannot state. Maybe you are the next Chick Corea. We do not know. But what do know, nonetheless, is that when you are playing an instrument, right? There are millions upon millions who play that same instrument on your planet, right? So you have all created a field, right? And so you are tapping into that energetic field of everybody who has played the piano or is playing the piano. Think of it that way. There's not one specific prodigies. If you are a prodigy, maybe you are tapping into the energies of, maybe you are playing the guitar like you are gone crazy, right? And you are tapping into the energies of Stevie Ray Vaughan, right? Maybe you are even channeling when you are playing through as Stevie Ray Vaughan, right? And you are the prodigy of Stevie Ray, like a prodigy, and that is possible. But if you are playing for fun, like you are, and you are playing beautifully as well, and when you are playing, you're most likely tapping into the larger field of all who are playing the piano, and being part of that greater energetic field that you are feeling as a pianist, if that makes any sense. Hopefully that does. Generally speaking, there is alternatives to this though. You could have an ancestor, right, who had passed the piano down to you. And so you are tapping into the ancestral line of playing the piano just as well. So, right, if you had somebody maybe 2 generations ago who was maybe on stage, played dueling piano, right, or something in the 1800s, right? And now you are playing piano, it is saying that you are generationally, right? It may have skipped a generation or two, and then you inherited the talent in your line, right? That family member who played the piano. If you are an understanding, that could be a possibility as well. But most likely, you are part of the greater field, the 1,000th monkey, so 100th monkey, so to speak. Not that playing the piano is nothing like that, but you are getting the idea that you are attuned to all of those who are playing the piano, and you are all attuned as one energy, if you are seeing. Hopefully that helps. But we are releasing transmission. Hopefully that helps. Lottie, with when you were playing the piano there. It's I mean, unless you're like playing the piano, you're and you're sounding like somebody like from the past. Like maybe you're playing the piano and you sound like Fats Domino, right? And it's like, wait a minute, you're like channeling Fats Domino. You sound like it, right? That's a whole nother deal. But generally speaking, we're all just, at least according to Saint Germain, we're tapping into the whole field of what we like. If you're, I don't know why he's saying this, but if you're a crane operator, right, and that's nerves of steel, you're tapping into that same general field of nerves of steel that all the crane operators have to tap into, right? Especially if you're a high crane operator. But did that help, Lottie? Yeah, thank you. You're welcome, Lottie. I'm grateful. The only Saint Germain, if you are playing the piano and you can slow yourself down while playing the piano, you have to slow yourself down to the point where you can almost get into a trance state yourself, right? Maybe. Then at that point, if you are looking to see if there's a specific that you are channeling, I would do 2 things. Have the piece of paper next to you, and of course, playing the piano. So if you can do one-handed play the piano, you might be able to free write if somebody is inside or with you, right? But again, most likely, you are wanting to, and what is funny is if you could see it, right? And you can't see this, Lati, but it's called if you have an understanding of the laws of synchronicity, right? When you get the itch to play the piano, there are probably 1,000 other people, 2,000, maybe even 1,000,000, right? Who decide at that moment as well, I'm going to go play the piano. Not all of them are putting it on YouTube as beautifully as you are, but gratefully you are, right? So, but what we are getting at is, watch the laws of synchronicity as well. Because if you are tapping into the field of piano players and the energy of the piano, You're not the only one getting the itch at a certain time of day, at generally the same time, right? To go and play the piano. When you play the piano, do not think that you are the only one sitting down to play the piano, right? There's thousands or hundreds, if not thousands or even maybe millions, depending on what time, you are playing the piano, playing at the same time, right? And then we could get even deeper with how many are playing the same song, right? If you are an understanding of how the field kind of works, right? Or messing around with the same song, so to speak, right? There you go. Think of it that way. And you will get to understand more, right? There you go. Perfect. So you have done automatic writing. So yeah, bring it to the piano because that's the energy, right? So sit down and you can write on close the lid or bring a something to write on like a clipboard, right? Or a notebook. And then write in there as you are playing around on the piano. See what comes up, but you have to get really slow and really focused, right? And if there is a specific piece that you can play one-handed that works, so you can write. If not, then just see what the energies bring you. But most likely, not always the case again, but most likely it's the field, right? The greater field. We love you. All right. I know automatic writing too. I agree with the piano wants you to play. With the piano itself wants you to play. That is true too. If you're playing, the two things come together as one, right? But yeah, when you sit down to play that piano, just realize and look at the clock. Just realize you're probably not the only one who just sat down at the piano to play the piano. Again, because you guys are all tied to the same field, or we're all tied to the same field. And so in the piano version of the field, right? And there's whatever you do, there's a field for it, right? So if you're a mechanic, there's a field of mechanics, right? And so if you need an answer, throw it to the field, right? And ask the mechanical field, so to speak, to bring it back to you. And why is this car not driving? Like, instead of getting, you can get them on forums, but you could also just put it into the field. It'll come back to you. Awesome. Thank you, Lottie. All right. So, all right. Do we have a new list I saw in there? Let's see here. Replace pin message. All right. So who's the last one here? User UD2YR7WQ30. Sounds like a password that Google would give you, right? Give me a secure password, and then right, and then you get that secure password. And it's like, I hope I don't lose my passwords. Any messages or guidance for self improvement moving forward after a health diagnosis? Okay, we can see what we've got here for you. Absolutely. You synchronized with your piano, kind of like how Josh's cards are synchronized with him. Exactly. But you're not only synchronized with your piano, you're synchronized with the piano field, the field of energy for pianists. There's a whole different deal. Like all the brain surgeons have their own field, right? When a doctor is doing, when Ben Carson, there we go, Dr. Ben Carson, the only one ever split two brains apart, right? When he, exactly. So yeah, so when he's doing brain surgery, he's going, what do I do? He's putting out to the literally. He's going, do I cut this? Do I not? And he has to make that decision. He's going on his instinct and his training, but he's also presenting that information to the field, right? To the larger field. And when you get the intuitive answer, that's the field coming back. Exactly. All right. So let's see here. Any messages or guidances for self-improvement moving forward after a health diagnosis? Mother Goddess Isis here. The first thing we want you to do when you are having a health diagnosis is to first take favor for yourself. So we give you favor too, right? So seeing you in the highest health. So the first advice we are going to do is very simple, right? We are going to have you do a mantra, right? Because we are going to get you to start to golden up, so to speak, your cellular level, right? We're going to get you to see yourself in a higher cellular state. So Mother Isis wants you to understand, of course, that you are the energy of Source, right? And we all are, right? We are all Source, and that is the point. Is we are all Source walking around. You are not really you, you are Source. And so what we want you to understand as that energy is that you are the one who can heal thyself, right? We need, where is Rick, right? Exactly. But we are going to pass off some of that wisdom, right? So what we are going to recommend, first thing, for you, user, is to take a breath and join me. Join Mother Isis, because you need to mother yourself, right? So join Mother Isis. Take a deep breath. And breathe in. And now release. Do one more breath for Mother Isis. What we are getting at, user, is that you see yourself in the golden light that you are, right? So for today and for tomorrow and for the rest of your universe, you will wake up, right? And you will say to yourself, I am the golden light of source flowing through me, right? I have and I am the golden light, the golden healing, loving light of source. We're not talking about God. We are not talking about anything. Source, the energy that you are. You are that light, the loving light flowing through you. And you see yourself. I see the golden, this is what you want to say on the daily. I see the golden light of source flowing through me, loving and healing me. Repeat after me. And all of you can do this. Try this mantra, right? I see and feel the loving, golden, healing light of source. You can mix it up a little bit, however you choose. Flowing through and healing and loving me, right? When you start to do that, you start to allow yourself, when you are calling in the light of source, right? The healing light of love, right? And the healing light of who you are. And you are standing forth. You are allowing for that healing to flow through you, to become part of who and what you are. So stand in that frame today. Love yourself and allow that healing energy to flow through you, as you are that healing energy you are looking for in the first place, right? So stand up, not literally, in your frame, right? Stand strong in your frame and say to yourself, user, I am the healing, loving light of source that is flowing through me, right? When you are doing so, you are energizing. You can say you are the golden light of source, right? Even better. But you are whatever you choose, whatever works out to be comfortable for you. But we want you to get the idea. We are not rigid here. But the idea is that you are mantraing your cells, right? I see my cells as love and healing. I see myself as love and healing. And I am healing in action, right? And you are stating that. And you are slowing down your breath. And you are walking with intention, right? We do not know the surgery you had or the medical condition or anything else that you might have gone through or are going through. And do not, one thing we want to state is, do not ever state my medical this. This is my you are not owning this condition. It is moving through you. You are not owning any surgery. It happened for you. You are not owning anything like that, right? You are letting it happen to you or for you so you can learn. And generally speaking, right? Now, if this is something that was not controllable, we do not know the condition. If you want to put it, that is up to you. The other thing you can do, right? And we are not making judgments or anything, but a lot of our conditions are based on broken energetics in our body, right? So a lot of things that we are suffering from, be it heartburn or hip pain or headaches sometimes or whatever it might be, fatigue, is actually trapped trauma, trapped unreleased trauma in your body, right? Things that you have not released, things that you have not yet said to yourself or to others that need to be said, things that you have not yet allowed yourself to release, right? And so you are holding that energy, those emotions trapped in your body, right? Favor, we understand, and so much love and favor. So we want you to see yourself, a lot of that is trapped energy. Well, lots of that could be bad diet or other things too, but favor. What we are wanting you to see then is your body in the golden healing light. When you see what you said there, right? And we want to give you love and support, and you want to love and support yourself, right? So you are going to love yourself. I am grateful for the love I give myself, right? And you are going to give yourself more love, and you are going to be less what? Burdensome to yourself. You're going to be less what? Hard on yourself. Generally speaking, right? Cancer. A lot of that can be, and it's not always the case, right? We have DNA problems, we have mutations, we have things that do happen, right? Not saying that your food is not the best in certain countries in your planet. Some of your food in one country is not even allowed in other countries because it is so terrible, right? And so what we are getting at is there are lots of myriads of things. Maybe you had chemicals in your water as well, but at this point, it is your job as your biggest cheerleader. Use her to see yourself glowing in the highest loving light, right? So we are going to stand in frame and see ourselves as the glowing loving light of Source. We are going to see ourselves radiating healing, and we are going to walk in that. I wish Rick was here because we could discuss, right? But nonetheless, in your universe, see that. If you are still dealing with any traumas, right, and you are still anger or frustrated or have resentments or what have you that you have not yet dealt with, the first thing I would tell you is to immediately start dealing with those things as fast as humanly possible. Resentments especially will kill. Resentments what cause a lot of cancer in the first place, right? You get resentful, you get angry, and it starts to boil inside yourself. And the anger and the resentment and the frustration boils until you are starting to mutilate your own body, right? These cells start to change, right? So from your end, user, see yourself, ground yourself. You can get outside and ground, that is great. But the biggest thing is to see yourself in the highest loving light and to chant that mantra, right? The mantra that you are the golden loving light of Source and it flows through you, the healing loving light, right? And you say that on a daily basis. You make that your mantra as you go forth, right? That will be the biggest thing. The other big thing is, and again, we do not know on your end, releasing all of the toxic energies, right? Is there toxic people in your universe? Is there toxic energies? And is there traumas, right? Finding your shadow and the traumas that you are standing in or have released, right? So can you do that? If you can do that, that will help as well. And of course, finding good foods, eating well, right? That is the other thing you want to do, right? Do not go out and buy your frozen pizza and eat that twice a week, right? But go instead and buy your frozen broccoli and eat that twice a week, right? That is what we are getting at. Eating healthier, because you are a machine, right? And your body needs to be fed properly, right? Your universe will guide you to the right foods if you allow yourself to not eat emotionally, right? Let your body decide. Put your hand on your heart when you go to eat, all of you, right? Should I eat this? This is what you want, right? You are feeding the body. It is your emotions that trigger you to eat the garbage, but it is your body that wants the better food, right? So find the compromise and ask your body what it wants. Do you want the frozen pizza? It will probably tell you no, right? Your heart will sink. And you will go, no, it does not want that. Then you say, do you want the broccoli? And it'll go, wee. And you will feel your heart bounce out of your chest, right? So what we are getting at is to mother yourself. Stand in your frame and be the golden light. You can do this. Releasing transmission. Ah. All right, so stand in frame, and when you're out, and when you wake up in the morning, this is what Yogananda used to do this. I am the golden healing light. I am the light of Source. I am the light of love as it flows through me. However you choose, but that's the one thing I'll tell you flat off the bat to start doing. And then the second thing is, if there's any traumas or dramas left in your frame, if you're fumigating, rumigating, or thinking about anything outside of healing yourself, somebody else's energy there, I would definitely, without question, there ground into work on releasing that energy, right? And then looking into your patterns, are you in survival mode all the time? Because that'll do it. That could do it on its own, right? There's another thing as well. But yeah, there we go. Hopefully that helps the user. We didn't need to use the cards. So that was the idea, and the cards are here if we want to use them. But the answers can come through the channeling too. All right. Yeah, Angie. Anybody else have a question there? Angie, if you have a question, please put it in there. Anybody else who's not contributed to the chat? Millie, if you have a question. Anybody? Otherwise, we will go ahead and close out. If you want to make a donation, it's not required. The links are in the description. And I plan on doing this more often, sometime later this week, hopefully again. We will do so and see where this goes here. But one step at a time. But yeah, if you missed Good Dawning, we were live this morning and trying to keep things, getting things moving forward here. But all right, guys. Karma, did you have a question as well? What does they want to say? All right. What do they want to tell you? Is that okay? Let's see what we got. And now, granted, well, let me see what we got. Saint Germain, we are grateful. Angie, we are grateful for you being here, and we are grateful for you watching the good dawning and all. We are grateful for all of you, right? One thing I am feeling, and I don't know, I mean, not we are not there with, we are there, but we are not, we can only be with you. And with Saint Germain wants you to understand, right? You are the energy of Saint Germain as much as I am the energy of you, and you are the golden light and the violet flame as well, right? But what we want you to understand is that we are not in your universe unless you are requesting, right? So if you need to be in your universe, Saint Germain, right? Then you need to request. Just say, Saint Germain, come into my universe. Show me your ways. Alchemize my universe, right? But what we are seeing in Angie, I don't know if this is correct or not, but are you hard on yourself? And I do not know, but this is the intuition, right? I'm not prying into your universe. Saint Germain has not been hanging out and watching you, so to speak, or any. We do not do that, right? We will come and assist with your permission, or like you see what we do with your channel here. But what we are asking is, are you hard on yourself? And what we want to tell you is to be a little more relaxed, to let go, let loose, right? Stop beating yourself up, so to speak, right? Stop being so hard, because when you are hard on yourself, then you spiral down, right? And then you start other things and you end up in the past, and then it's not a good situation, right? So from your end, when you start to fall into that getting hard on yourself, you are not allowed to do that anymore, right? So when you are wanting to beat yourself up for X, Y, and or Z, right? It is your job to not do so, right? Replace it with one thing that you have done well that day, right? A lot of you only look for the negatives in your universe and then ground those into your universe, right? We are not asking you to do that anymore. We are asking you to evaluate your day, right? When you sit down, Angie, and evaluate your day, and don't pick apart the negative things. Look for something positive. You are required to keep a positive journal, right? So if you can do so or not, it is up to you. But if you want to change that, then write a journal, write one positive thing that you have done every day, right? Or two, even if maybe you find two. Or even more if you want to get the jiggy with it, so to speak. But it is up to you, right? What you choose to do. But either way, you have to at least write one good thing you have done for yourself, for others, something you are proud of, positive, right? Maybe you gave somebody $1, and that is a good thing, right? Or maybe you did your dishes immediately when you leave them laying out all night, right? So that's a good thing too, right? Or you made your bed when you never do. That's another positive, right? Or maybe you didn't talk negatively to yourself. It doesn't have to be an action, right? And so whatever it is, we want you to start writing the good things that you do down, right? Be your own best critic, exactly. And instead of tearing yourself apart on the daily basis. We all do that to an extent, but do not, it's not the best energy to want to ground and to create from, right? When you are seeing only your worst, then you are only going to create more of your worst. When you are seeing yourself not as your best, then you are not going to produce your best, right? You are going to be like, oh, I don't care. I'm not the best anyways, so it doesn't matter. When it does matter, you know who it matters to? You, right? Because you matter to you, whether you think you do or not, right? In the long run, you, and deep down inside, whether you think you do or you don't matter to you, you really do, right? And you know it. So that is the question for you, right? So when you are out, when you wake up tomorrow and go to bed tonight, right? Before you wake up or go to bed, take 5 minutes, not even, right? You're going to have more homework if you watch Good Dunning tomorrow. But take 3 to 5 minutes, right? And just one thing. That's all. That you did well today, that you can say, I'm proud of myself. I did this well. I did not do, or something that you wanted to do that wasn't good, that you decided not to do. If you didn't do anything well, maybe then I didn't do that, right? Whatever that is, right? I didn't drink a gallon of whiskey, or I didn't, whatever it is, we don't know what you do. If you do something, you may not, right? Even if it's just negative self-talk. I did not negative self-talk today, right? That is a positive, right? There we go. Are you understanding? You have been slipping constantly, putting myself down 1,000,000 times a day, right? So you are not allowed to do that anymore, right? only allowed to compliment yourself. So that is the deal, right? Try complimenting yourself instead. It could go a lot further, right? So when you are out and you do something good, say, I am proud of me. I did that well, right? Whoa, I didn't do what I used to do or would normally do. I didn't yell at this person when they cut me off. I gave them a wave instead and said, I love you, right? Whatever it is, try that instead. And you will see a big difference. Hopefully that helps. Releasing transmission. There you go. So hopefully that helps. That's what they're seeing is, yeah, you just keep cutting yourself down, and then like you start to make progress, but then you cut yourself off, and then you stop, and then it's like there's your day. It's, all day is done, not done, but awesome, fantastic. But awesome, Angie. Beautiful, guys. Question above if you want another. Okay, sure. Let's see. Who is? Yes, the solar flares, earthquakes, etc. How should we be working with the energy? Okay, we can do that. Saint Germain, grateful that you are all still here. Working with the energy of the earthquakes. Well, the earthquakes are their own energy, and that's a rebound energy from the solar flares, right? Because the earth has to take in the energy. So the energy comes into the earth, right? And it penetrates the earth, right? And it goes into the earth itself, sending the shockwave, right? And that's, you will see the earthquake on the opposite end, right? But nonetheless, how are you to absorb the energies? You are to slow down and let them come through. You cannot stop the energy unless you are going with Superman and climb into a lead box, right? That is for kryptonite, right? But otherwise, right, you cannot avoid it, right? This is not Night of the Comet unless you stepped in a steel container. You are going to, right? Remember that movie, right? If you stayed in a steel container, you did not get absorbed by the comet and die, right? And so they stayed in the movie theater projection room, and she survived, and the other one stayed in a truck, right? In the back of a truck and survived, right? Indeed. So from your end, none of that will work, right? The energies are going to come through nonetheless, and you are going to have to absorb them. So the question is, are you grounded, right? That is the big question. Because when the energies come through, if you're not grounding and ready for the energies, they're going to knock you off your feet, right? They're going to give you all kinds of craziness. So it's your job to slow down and to breathe into it, first off and foremost, right? If you're going to start to panic about the energies are going to panic about you, right? No, not really, but you are going to end up with headaches. You are going to end up creating situations that don't need to be, right? It is your job to be centered and to stay centered most times, right? We all get out of center. That is inevitable, and it is not impossible to 100% be centered, right, all the time. But when the energies are coming through, two things that you can do. One, stay home, right? If you have heart issues and you go out in a G4 magnetic storm, that is not good for your heart. You are putting pressure on your heart. And if you have a pacemaker or a heart defibrillator, it could go haywire, right? We do not want that. They are grounded, right? For a reason. In your body, they are grounded. But if they weren't grounded and you go out into a geomagnetic storm like that, into a solar storm, theoretically, they could go off, right? You could ruin your pacemaker, your defibrillator, what have you, right? So in that aspect, stay home. The other thing we can tell you is if you are dealing with the solar flares, right, the energy, it's going to bombard you, right? So if you are grounded and ready for it, breathe. If you breathe through it is the thing you can do the best, right? Take a breath and release. Take a breath and release, and let it come and let it go. If you are pushing energy, right? If you are not feeling in space, right? If you are, you could get headaches. You could. Nothing really bad is going to happen or anything. It gives you anger and frustration, right? Because you are not the energy is hitting you, right? And it is bombarding you, right? And it's bombarding everybody. And the energy itself is activating what? Your DNA, certain parts of you, right? It's waking you up to who you are. And so that also is going to be a little what? Discombobulating, to say the least, right? So from your end, it's about the biggest thing I can tell you is it's about staying grounded, right? And breathing and going slow so that the energy can flow in instead of that kind of energy, right? And if you are understanding, then you have to let it flow into you and relax. You will be grounding as well, right? So go out and put your feet on the ground. But the best thing, if you are sensitive in any way, stay inside. That will help, right? The biggest thing you can do. And if you have a heart condition of any sort, right? Any sort of heart condition, then you want to stay inside anyways, right? Hopefully that helps. But realize these things pass, right? You had a G4 magnetic storm for about an hour and a half yesterday, right? 2 hours. And then it passed. It went to a G3, then a G2, then a G1, right? And then G1, if you feel a G1, then you are super sensitive, but you wouldn't, right? And it's only when it gets to G4, 3, and 4, and 5 where you might even feel it, right? And so a lot of it also is going to be what you anticipate. So you are anticipating this and getting worried about it, right? And nervous about it. So you're going to gin it up, so to speak, whether it's even, you might start to get discombobulated even when there's no energies because you are worried about the storm coming, right? So it's a lot to just finding the calm inside yourself and letting it flow through you. But releasing transmission, hopefully that helps. Traveling roads with 100,000 of our closest neighbors and friends. What? Karma. What helps me is knowing I am the traffic I see. Road rage is the pip. Oh, road rage. There we go. If you are in road rage, then you are allowing other people to create and change your energy. So before you ever get into road rage, think about this for a moment. Why you are allowing a third party, somebody you do not know, they are you, right? But they are somebody you may not know, right, energetically. And so you are allowing them then to come into your frame and to take over your energetics, right? So you are saying, here's the keys to me, and I'll give that to you, right? And you take control and boss me around, so to speak, energetically. So I'm just thinking that way. Just think about that for a moment when you are getting into road rage. The other thing is to stop road rage is to count to 10 first before you do anything. So the moment you get cut off, you do nothing but start counting to 10. Count backwards is even better. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. By the time you get to 1, generally you have released all the anger. You have counted it out, right? So before you blow up, the moment you get cut off, the moment you are going to rage, count backwards from 10 to 0, right? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Then when you are at the 0 mark, most likely, if you are breathing slowly, right? Like you have to be in control of your breath too. So breathe slow and count backwards. You will not explode, right? We're going to give you other techniques tomorrow on Good Dunning, but for now, that's what I have been shoveling snow for 3. Feeling grounded, LOL. You are definitely feeling it in your shoulders and your back. That's for sure. But grounded, we don't know. But in your knees, right? So favorite stop snowing, but nonetheless, when you are raging on the road or wanting to rage at the snow, you stop and you count backwards from 10. And you breathe as slowly as possible. Hold your breath for 5 seconds. You take 1, maybe 2 breaths in that whole time, right? Maybe just 1, because you hold it for 5 and you release it for 5, right? So you take 1 breath and you do slowly as you count backwards. If you are to still rage after counting backwards from 10 seconds, whether you say it out loud or to yourself before you blow up in front of somebody, is up to you. And then you will not probably want to rage. You will probably be drained at that point and just be like, whatever. It gets mad at you, but you cannot control the weather. Why get mad at what you cannot control, right? You have no right, well, you have a right to get angry at anything or mad at anything you want, right? But when you cannot control the weather, when you are getting snow 3 or 4 days in a row, then what you find is the gratitude for when it doesn't snow, right? That's the only thing you can control is the energy of how much you hate the weather, right? Unfortunately, or not. And just like everywhere, everybody says wherever they live, right? Stick around for 5 minutes and the weather will change, right? So hopefully your snow will... Well, you could come to Colorado. They have had 1 snowstorm, maybe 2, but less than 2 inches of snow the entire winter. So you can You can have that, right? Where they have fire ban, and so at least you could look at it that way too, right? The ground is saturated, the grass is good, the trees are going to be healthy, and there you go, right? That's another way to see it. Releasing transmission. All right, hopefully that helped there, Karma. But counting backwards, moment. Oh, mother, count me up. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Damn it. Okay. All right, I'm better. Literally, that's how it works. Yeah, don't allow yourself to get into it. You got it. All right, guys. Does anybody have any last requests? Any last before we end here? Okay, guys. If anybody does want to make a donation, you are welcome to. Their donation links are listed in the channel itself, or in the description of the show itself. And we pull one card here. More snow in winter makes for less chance of exactly. And so yeah, in the summer here, it's going to be real fun. Not really. If we had no snow, like we're predicted to get no snow, none. Shuba. I mean, and they're only half snow in the mountains. If that's really the case, Colorado River is going to be real dry. We're going to have we already have a fire ban. We might have a camping ban. Probably no outdoor shooting for the rest of the summer, rest of the year in the state. Yeah, it's going to get mining operations that use explosives. It's going to get real interesting. Real interesting around here. All right, we're going to pull one card and then we're going to close out. What hours would I be working? 7 to 7. So I don't know. I'm going to call her and take it because I need money, and it's only 3 days a week. I can figure out between them. But yeah, it's going to get me discombobulated. But at the moment, it's money, and we start moving forward. So we're going to take it. It still gives me 5 days a week, 4 days a week to look for work. 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So I could even still do good donning when I get home. It would just be really tired good donning, but we could do it at 9 o'clock. So yeah, we'll get it all figured out here. All right, 55. No, we're not talking about Sammy Hagar, and you can't drive 55, right? Nobody can drive 55 anymore. Generally, that's not the speed limit, but 55, and we had 1010. So are you seeing, this morning we had 1010, today we have 55, right? These are random cards. And both cards equals what? Change. 1010 is ending, spring, new beginnings, and 55 is sudden change, right? Positive, usually. Gratitude, and that's what we get from Joanne Sacred Scribes. This one may give it a little differently, and that's okay. But you'll see a lot of the numerologists will go to Joanne Sacred Scribes on YouTube, or on the internet. Be grateful, 55. Hey, weren't we talking about standing in an attitude of gratitude, right? Be grateful. Gratitude, abundance, acceptance, positivity, contentment, and reciprocity. So they have it a little different, which I'll take it though. Stop dwelling on problems that you cannot solve or situations that bring you down. Embrace gratitude and reciprocity for what life offers you, and you'll align with your soul's desires. There we go. And that's kind of where we're shifting, right? We're going to be tomorrow in Good Dawning. Join us. We're going to be doing some breathing exercises to start releasing the nervous system and moving things forward in our universe energetically. So yeah, grateful. No snow makes for a good chance of fire yeah, no kidding. I walked outside yesterday, was it 2 days ago? And they're not here. The fires are actually in Wyoming, but it's close enough. I'm like, wow, it's hazy as all hell. And you could smell it too. And so they're starting to pop up in southern Wyoming, which is about an hour and a change from here. Yeah, there's 2 fires raging right now, and you can sort of see the smoke coming down the Rocky Mountains there. Hello, Anna, good dawning. Good afternoon, I should say. Hello, John, Millie, Honey. Much love and light. I have you on when I'm trying to get my meds, so when I'm off, I can't chat. They're like hanging up on me. Oh, favor. I had Page of Swords fall out earlier. Swift change. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so change, but that's good, right? Change generally depends. I mean, again, what change? If you're fearful of change, right, and you're sitting in the fear of it, then it's not going to be good change, right? But if you're allowing for it, like in my situation, awesome change, right? Exactly. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off here and make a quick phone call and see if I can resurrect that job, if she can give it away. If not, then I wasn't meant to have it because I said no originally. My intuition says to say no, but my actually it doesn't. It's like, try it. That's what I'm hearing is try it. Hey, it's money, right? Exactly. And there we go. All right, guys. Anna, I will ask if, since you were hanging on the phone there in favor, to get your meds, did you want a reading? It's not really a reading. Did you have any questions that you might want answered by Saint Germain, Archangel Raphael, Goddess Isis, Kuan Yin, Sekhmet, or White Buffalo Calf One? There we go. If so, I will happy to answer that for you. Otherwise, we will close out the show. So let me know. I'm going to give Anna a moment here to see if she wants, since she's been here but wasn't able to chat. Uh, no? Yes? Maybe? Okay. All right. That's the case. Then we will close out Anna and Grateful Guys. We will go live again later this week. I'm not. Go ahead, dear. Okay. So we will go live later this week. And we will be live, of course, tomorrow with Good Dawning. If you're catching this in a rewind or the replay, please, of course, like, subscribe, and hit the bell. I will be live tomorrow at 8:45 Mountain Time, which is 10:45 Eastern Time with Good Dawning again. And yeah, thank you guys. And it's 1111111. So we've been on for an hour and 11 minutes and 11 seconds. Thank you, Karma, for keeping the list, and for thank you guys for all being here. And I will see you all tomorrow in Good Dawning. And thank you. And if anybody wants a direct one-on-one session, we can take as long as we want. Concludes even two free follow-up sessions. Email me at Mr. Floyd Channelings with an S at gmail.com. That's Mr. Floyd Channelings with an S at gmail.com. It's in the description as well. And we can set up a one-on-one session and answer anything you have with all of my guides and whom have you, and Ron and Saint Germain and Archangel Raphael and all of them there to help. But hugs to everybody. Have an amazing afternoon. Thank you all for being here, and I'll see you all in the next.